She didn't even hesitate, didn't flinch, didn't blink, just pointed at the door and screamed, "Get out! And don't come back!" So I did. I didn't cry, didn't beg. I walked upstairs, packed 2 bags, left my keys on the counter, and walked out of the house I helped pay for since I was 19. The silence in my exit was louder than her scream. She thought it was a win. She had no idea what she'd just set in motion. That house? It wasn't theirs, not entirely. It was mine too. The only reason they weren't drowning in foreclosure after Dad's job loss was because I stepped in. Quietly, without question. I picked up the mortgage payments. I never asked for thanks, just peace. Instead, I got venom. It wasn't always like that. There was a time my mom held me like the world would break without me in it. But somewhere between her bitterness and my independence, love turned into leverage. Everything I did became a threat. If I got promoted, she felt small. If I bought new clothes, I was showing off. If I came home late, I was selfish. But I stayed, because Dad asked me to. "Your mom's just stressed," he'd whisper. "It'll pass." But it didn't. It built up, until it exploded. The night it happened, I had just come home from a 14-hour shift. Mom was waiting in the kitchen, arms crossed, eyes sharp. "You think you can treat this house like a hotel?" I blinked. "I'm working, Mom. I pay the—" "Don't talk back to me in my house." That's what she said. My house. Those words stuck. That wasn't a fight. That was a declaration. And when I didn't bow, she screamed those final words, "Get out and don't come back." So I did. For weeks, I lived out of a friend's guest room. Didn't call, didn't text, didn't send so much as a sigh in their direction. They didn't notice at first. They were too busy basking in their peace. Until the second mortgage payment missed. Then the third. Then Dad called. He didn't yell, didn't ask how I was. Just this. "Why did you stop paying the mortgage?" My lips curled. "You really want to know?" I asked. "Yeah, because the woman who lives there screamed that it was her house. So I figured she could finally start paying for it." Silence. Then the line went dead. He tried again the next day, and the next. I didn't answer, but I watched. Saw the house pop up in pre-foreclosure listings. Watched the late fees pile on. I knew the accounts inside out. I'd been managing them for years. They didn't have the savings to cover 3 months, let alone 6. They didn't know that I was listed as a co-owner on the title. Dad had added me when I started helping, just to make it legal. I was 24 then. Now I was 28, and I had rights. So I made a call to the bank, filed the paperwork to trigger my withdrawal from the mortgage, which meant one thing. They were on their own now. It took a month for the reality to hit. Then the messages changed, from "We're worried about you" to "You're being immature." Then "We'll lose the house." Then "Please." Dad came to my office one afternoon, stood in the lobby like a man who'd aged 20 years. "Can we talk?" I motioned to the bench outside. He sat. I didn't. He sighed. "Your mom didn't mean it." "She meant it," I said, and I listened. He looked up at me red-eyed. "I didn't know you'd stop helping." I tilted my head. "That's the thing, Dad. I wasn't helping. I was holding the foundation of that house together, quietly, while she chipped away at me, screamed me out, and you stood there and let her." He looked away. "I didn't know it was that bad. That's the problem. You never did." I left him sitting there, same way I left the house, without drama, without apology. Just truth. They sold the house 4 weeks later, barely broke even. Had to move into a rental 2 towns over. Mom's pride couldn't save her. Dad's silence couldn't shelter her. And me? I got an apartment downtown. My name on the lease, my food in the fridge, my rules on the door. No yelling, no guilt, no debt tied to love. Sometimes silence is louder than revenge. But mine, It was both. It wasn't about money, it was about worth. About showing them, finally, what it costs to underestimate the one person keeping their world from collapsing. I don't regret it. I didn't destroy them. I just stopped saving them. And that was enough.